I'm 2 days into college and I am 3 lectures behind. There's this guy, let's name him Colin. He said he wants to be mine.
You watching this video, bro, please be 1000% honest with me, bro. Would you guys believe me? Would you guys believe me if I told you that this dude right here that I just played making these TikToks, painting his nails, doing... People's gonna say what they want to say about this man, bro. Would you guys believe me if I told you that this dude just recently set the record for the most 3-pointers made in a game in Duke history, making a total of 8 3-pointers in that game, while also scoring and tying the freshman record at Duke University with 35 points in that game, which is also more points in a regular season and in a March Madness game than players that went to Duke like RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, JJ Redick, Pelo Banchero, Jason Tatum, and Kyrie Irving. These guys never did this in their entire careers at Duke. And mind you, bro, these are the best players to ever wear a Duke uniform. And lastly, guys, what if I told you that this kid just helped Duke beat the #1 seed in the Southern region and is now headed to the Elite Eight with a chance to play in the Final Four in this 2024 March Madness tournament? Guys, Jared McCain, bro. I'm personally not here to talk about, you know, what he has to do off the court. I know people have their opinions. People are going to say this, people are going to say that, people are going to be like, why in the who is this guy dancing to TikToks? Why does he have over 3 million followers on social media? Why is he shaking his hips like this? Why is he making these crazy TikToks? Why is he painting his nails blue, red, white, all the colors in the rainbow? Why is he acting zesty? Guys, like I said, people are going to say what they want about this man, Jared McCain, off the court. They're going to criticize him. They're going to disagree with a lot of things that he does off the court. But me personally, I feel like there's one thing that absolutely nobody on this entire earth can disagree with, just how well of a freshman season that this man is having so far at Duke, and how Jared McCain has easily been one of the best freshmen in the entire nation in college basketball this season. Now, guys, you'd be very surprised that a lot of people actually don't even know that Jared McCain is a basketball player, bro. A lot of people just know Jared McCain as a TikToker, as a dancer, as a singer, as a social media personality. But guys, people don't realize who this man Jared McCain is. Back in high school, Jared McCain finished high school as the 10th ranked player according to ESPN in high school in the 2023 high school class. He was rated as the 2nd shooting guard, also rated as a 5-star player. He had a great, illustrious high school career, winning 2 Gatorade National Player of the Year awards out there in California. He also won multiple state titles as well in 3 years, finished as a McDonald's All-American, and he ultimately committed to play for Duke University, picking Duke over schools like Louisville, Gonzaga, even Houston, the team that he just beat in the Sweet 16. And like I mentioned, he ultimately chose Duke to form one of the best recruiting classes at the time. I believe either they finished as the #1 freshman recruiting class or Kentucky, one or the other, but nonetheless, they formed a crazy freshman class at Duke. Now, if you take a look at these stats, Jared McCain has actually had a pretty solid season for Duke this season, averaging 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, on 46% from the field, 41% from 3, and also an impressive 86% from the free throw line. Now, if you've been keeping up with Jared McCain so far this season, if you remember at the very beginning of the season, Jared McCain actually had a pretty slow start. I mean, you can see the numbers. First game, he only dropped 8 points. Second game, took a loss versus Arizona, only dropping 9 points in that game, followed up with a 0-point game against Michigan State, which I believe was the nationally televised game, which was essentially the start of the season. So that was the first time people was actually watching Jared McCain on a TV national televised game scale. So I know a lot of people just had a lot of questions about his game. I know a lot of people were mentioning that he was a one-dimensional type of player. He can't really put the ball on the floor. He's not the shooter that people thought that he was going to be, but that happens for some freshmen, guys. You got to understand, things take time. Not every freshman is going to be good at the very beginning of the season, and just checking along throughout the rest of the season. I mean, you can see the numbers: 21-point games, 24-point games, 21s, 20s. Even had a 35-point explosion versus Florida State University, which I believe tied Zion Williamson for the most points scored as a freshman. And like I said, that's over guys like Kyrie Irving, the Jason Tatum, the Brandon Ingram, so many legends that, you know, is able to put on this Duke uniform. And the fact that a guy named Jared McCain, a TikToker, somebody that people say is zesty, and all these call him the craziest, terms and words. People are going to say what they want to say off the court, but, he's doing all this and he's still dropping 35 points, breaking school records at Duke University. And, he's been continuing to do this even during the March Madness tournament. Recently just had a 30-point game versus James Madison University in the round of 32, breaking the Duke record for the most three-pointers made in the game with 8 made threes in that game. And like I mentioned, he just recently helped Duke University beat Houston to have a chance to actually play in the Elite Eight against, I believe they're playing against NC State. Now, I do believe Jared McCain has really shown that he's a capable shooter. I think that's the #1 skill that he has that is eventually going to be translating to the NBA. And the main thing that I really love about his shooting ability is that Jared just always stays ready. He's a great catch and shoot type of guy, but I just think his off the ball instincts, just always being ready to shoot. His form is very consistent no matter the situation that he's in. If he needs to shoot a mid-range shot, if he needs to shoot a fadeaway three, it doesn't matter the situation. Jared McCain is just a consistent shooter, and there's a reason why he's shooting over 40% from three, and he makes big time shots in big time moments. And I do think the fact that he's a capable shooter and he's showing signs that he can shoot well from the free throw line, that's going to be his main skill that is essentially going to translate to the NBA. I also love the fact that he's a guard that's not scared to do the dirty work. I mean, he's had multiple 10+ rebounding games, which really tells you that he's not just a one-dimensional type of player. He's a guy that, like I mentioned, is going to do the dirty work. He's going to crash the boards. He can play with aggressive type of players. He can get aggressive at certain moments when he needs to. And to me, it's just kind of surprising that he's the 3rd leading rebounder on this Duke team. I know right now Jared McCain is projected to go somewhere in the lottery. Just based on what I've personally been seeing on mock drafts, it looks like Jared McCain is slowly rising up in the rankings. Just from what I personally seen, his draft projection has been pretty consistent even before the season even started. He's always been a late 1st round, high 2nd round pick. But as the season goes along, as March Madness is, chugging along here, I've been seeing him even as low in the top 10. So I do anticipate Jared McCain to probably go somewhere mid lottery, mid 1st round. I've been on record saying that he's easily the safest pick in the 2024 NBA draft. He's not a guy that's going to have to come in there and going to be expected to orchestrate an offense or play the point guard position at a high level or start for a team or anything like that. He's a guy that, like I mentioned, plays with a high level of IQ. He's a great catch and shoot player. He plays great off the ball. He understands his role. He's a team player at the end of the day. He's a guy that brings energy both on and off the floor. So I do think he's easily one of the more safer picks in the draft. And I know he gets a lot of hate, like I mentioned, not just off the court, but on the court as well, with just his play style, his movement. He doesn't make it look, super pretty, but at the end of the day, he's breaking records at Duke. He's a highly decorated basketball player, even whenever he was in high school, and he's just continuing to prove all the doubters wrong. I know there's a lot of people who never even thought he would even be in the consideration to make the NBA. People thought he was going to be a 4-star. People thought he was going to be a 4-year college player, but look at him now. So who's to say that Jared McCain can't, have a great, successful NBA career? I personally see it, but like I said, people are definitely going to have their opinions. People are going to have their opinions on what he's doing off the court. People have so much to say, and that's one thing I respect about Jared McCain. People have all this negativity, but he still remains the same at the end of the day. He's going to be himself, and he's not going to listen to the haters or what anybody else has to say about him. He's going to be himself in every single moment, and that's something that I really respect about Jared McCain. Overall, though, I would definitely give his freshman season an A score. Like I said, I do think he was one of the better freshmen in the nation that just translated fairly well. And I'm very excited to see how he's going to translate to the NBA. You watching this video, I do want to know your opinions on Jared McCain. How would you grade his overall season? How do you think he's going to translate to the NBA? What are your opinions what are your honest opinions about Jared McCain on and off the floor? Let me know down below, guys. Just have a great conversation, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.